Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I needed a few extra minutes. I got a call from a family member, so I was just taking that call before I came here. So I took an extra like 10 or so. My bad. But thank you for waiting. Appreciate that. Okay. We got the Mario Kart music faux today. We got the Mario Kart BGM folk today. And I have a video that's going to be posted soon. I'm waiting for like one approval thing before it gets posted. So if it is to be posted today, I'll let you know. I'm not 100% sure. We have to wait for someone to approve something. But yeah, so that should hopefully be today. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. I was just messaging them back on something. Okay, but yeah, hopefully video today, if not like tomorrow. We'll see. And then we've got a few things today. I wanted to do more Neo, but two interesting things. One, Mewgenics came out yesterday, which I've been wanting to play for forever. I've been following Ed's Twitter for a very long time, and was hoping for Mewgenics to release a lot earlier because he's been working on this project for forever. But initially it was like part of a thing and then got dropped actually from the studio or publisher or whatever it was. It was just a project that got cut and he just continued it himself and finished it with his other dev, and the game is out. Yeah, I believe it was the publisher. Which is tough because, you know, publishers, there's a few things that some publishers do. It depends on them. It depends on the arrangement you've got with them. But with indie games, a lot of the time the publisher is fronting some money for your project, or they are like, you need them to publish, quote unquote. You think you do. Because you think you need their marketing. But he didn't need any of that because he made The Binding of Isaac, right? So people remember him, they remember all that stuff. He's been posting about it incessantly, and I think that's done a huge thing too, is instead of being like, oh, secret project, I'll tell you about it when I can, he's just been posting about it nonstop for a long time, which I think is good. I think is really good when it's a small project like this. But yeah, so it's just nice to see. And then, yeah, he said it made back its development costs in 3 hours of being live, getting those sales in. That's huge. Absolutely huge. So, yeah, I'm glad to see it. I actually opened it yesterday just to do the tutorial, just to make sure that, like, I was past that so we could just hop into it when we do. But it's I like it because, okay, it's very millennial humor, not in a way that only millennials would get it, but it's very millennial coded, as in you could look at the jokes and expect them to be from however many years ago. They still hold up, but some of the writing is stuff that I feel like people are maybe the slightest bit sensitive for nowadays, and not sensitive as in most people would have an issue, but there are small pockets of people, and I think everyone has become afraid of making jokes. You know what I mean? Everyone's become really afraid of making jokes. And I get why on certain topics, but on others, I feel like it's totally fine, especially when the context makes sense. So, yeah. Yeah. I just think it's refreshing. Because I get it. Sometimes you go back and look at some older media or media made by millennials, right, or older, and you look at that and you're like, I don't know if that's all it. But none of this seems like it's written from a place of like ignorance or anything like that. It's just like they're not playing it safe on stuff that they don't have to, because they know that, you know, who the dev is, you know that there's no ill anything in here, right? So it's just like comfortable, you know, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I think a lot of people get up in arms, understandably so, because they don't have the context behind the person who makes a tweet or the person who made a video or whatever, right? You don't know anything about that person. So they make a certain joke and you're like, oh my God, what if they mean it terribly or whatever? But this is someone who I think has been in the public eye enough in a way where people are like, yeah, we know he's fine. You know what I mean? It makes it a little easier to like make these jokes. And these jokes, again, these are like so tame. Actually very truly tame. But stuff like making the cats fuck, not that you do, it's just that they do. Like cats in nature reproduce a lot, okay? Not as much as rabbits, but a lot. And there's nothing wrong with like that being on the screen in a cartoon way. Yet a lot of devs would like not put that in their game because they'd be like, oh, gotta think of the kids or so. I don't know. Like as if kids don't know that cats reproduce. I don't know, man. I watched Animal Planet, you know? So I feel like it's stuff that like it's nothing to clutch your pearls over anyway, but studios will still do it just to, yeah, because of ESRB ratings and just to make sure that there's like no issue just in case. But I prefer if people didn't, you know? Do you prefer spicy or mild guacamole? I don't like guacamole that much. I think avocados don't taste good. They don't really have much to them, you know? Kids smack Barbies together all the time. Yeah, and it's like there's a difference between portraying something that happens in nature in a cartoon way to be funny versus in a gratuitous way. Very, very, very different. It could be the same subject matter, but super different. So, you know, and nothing in this game comes across as that so far. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's just refreshing. Because I feel like a lot of AAA, they I don't know. I feel like they either make a game that's like very safe. They keep that kind of stuff and those sorts of jokes out of it. Or they go for the mature rating and then they go out of their way to make like certain things a certain way. And it's very told in a serious context, not even a funny context, you know? So I'm like, where's the in the middle, like funny cartoon cats reproduce? You know what I mean? Like where is that in this? Here it is kind of thing. Right? So... yeah. It's just nice. Kids can just not play the game. Yeah. I mean, you know, I say it all the time. I say it all the time because it seems to be the topic of the year, of the past year, really, is that, like, with obviously the Discord thing being the most recent, but in general, a lot of platforms and countries trying to, like, regulate age verification and all these different things. I'm a proponent of the internet should be made for adults, and if kids are to be on it, their parents should be policing them. That's it. Done. That's the way the internet was for the longest time. It was not made for kids. There were a couple sites that were made for kids, and you were encouraged to let your kid go there, right? Club Penguin, you know, whatever. But yeah, parents should be parents. That's all. I just do not think any of the other stuff is necessary if we just put the onus on parents. It's just, I get why companies are being held liable for this shit, even though they might logically know it's not their fault. The companies and the platforms where these things happen, because parents are being negligent, are still, you know, they're still being punished, the platforms, even though it's not really logically just on them, right? And they can't handle all this liability. They cannot handle all these lawsuits and everything. So they're like, we have to shift it. You know, there's also the other side of, you know, harvesting your data is very valuable and everything, which has always been the case, always been a thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's just how it is, man. I don't know. Yeah, problem is bad parents think it's like the government's responsibility. They just think it's anyone but theirs. Everyone, look, people are very sensitive when you call them not a good parent. And this has always been the case, pre-internet. It's always been the case that when you tell someone they're not parenting right, they're incredibly sensitive about because you're essentially telling them they are a complete failure. raising a human is a big deal, and you're telling them they're an entire failure if you say that they failed the thing, right? They're going to take it that way. It's always been like this. So I understand that people are always going to take it hard. I don't care, though. It's just, this responsibility is on the parents in my mind, morally, right? I don't care what functionally ends up happening, what governments decide to make their people do, or platforms decide to make their people do, or whatever it is. I just think, in general, morally, the onus is on the parents to make sure that their kids are doing stuff right. That's all. That's all. And I think all the responsibility and liability should be put on those people personally to get them to do something. Just in my opinion. I think if you're going to legislate this stuff, if a child is, approached by someone online and groomed into going and meeting them, whatever, I think you should absolutely prosecute the parents as well. Or look into it. Sometimes stuff will still happen under people's noses. I'm not going to say 100% of the time you have to punish the parent. It depends. It depends. Some of these people that are sick will do crazy things, but Hi, Peter. I was talking about Discord. But in general, this is where it goes. How are you, Raiders? What did you do today? What were you playing today? What was going on? What was going on? I'm going to open up mewgenics today. Yeah, Peter. I'm going to open mewgenics today. Neo 3. Well, I'm glad you said that because this is my Neo 3 model. Ooh. If you guys were just watching him play Neo, I did a whole thing with Neo 3 and with Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja and all that, and we made this model together. When I played it on Friday when it first released, I'm going to be playing more of it, just not today, but we've been playing through. We made a model that was as if I was a boss in the game kind of thing. That was the vibe. I have a big sword. Wait, ready? It's like I have to move over because it's really big. Ready for this? Look at how big it is. If I'm like chatting, it goes off the screen, It's really big. But yeah. Look at my snakes open their mouths. Ready? Ah. But yeah. Yeah. You did the whole thing. Actually, if you look at it, the orbs are like snake eyes. It's supposed to look like a snake looking at you from the front. From the front. But yeah. It's cool. I've been really liking this model, regardless of whether it's a Neo 3 thing or not. I just really like it. I just really like it. So, do you also turn into snake? No, I'm just snakeified. I do have, this is phase 2. If I do my phase 1, if I go back to phase 1, I got one snake. Ready? Ready for this? Just one little guy. One little guy. But when I'm chatting, I leave the snakes on because I can never, if I'm playing a game and I'm in the corner like this, this is too big, I can't leave them on when I'm gaming. So when we're on the chatting screen, I leave them on because it's my only time that I get to. But yeah, I'm very happy with it. I also have RGB lights. Look, ready? Wow. My arm lights up. My legs. Ooh. Yeah. RG balls. RG balls. But yeah. I hope you guys are liking Neo 3. I really love this series. I've been a big Neo fan for a while. And I really, really, really liked 2. I started replaying it a little bit because when I played Neo 2, I didn't really play it all the way through in one kind of chunk. I went and played a bit of it, loved it, but then something else came out and I was like, oh, I gotta play this. And then I went back and played another chunk of Neo 2. And then I played something new. And then I played another chunk. And it was kind of like disjointed, So I always had regrets. So for 3 now, I'm just kind of going straight through. And we're doing like the occasional stream day where I don't play 3, but other than that, generally, we're just going through it. This one does New Game Plus Neo. You absolutely should New Game Plus Neo, because 2 especially, they add a lot of mechanics. They add a lot of stuff when you New Game Plus. The fights change up a little bit. You actually have to start caring about the weapon and equipment lists and things a bit more and min-maxing things using the Forge. You really don't have to on the first playthrough. You can do whatever and it's a lot easier. But then when you get to New Game Plus or Plus Plus, all of that, you have to do that stuff. which I think is what people usually want out of those kinds of games, right? They want that challenge. So yeah, I would say that's the sort of game you should New Game Plus 100%. Maybe plus plus or plus plus plus, because it does keep changing as you keep like prestiging, you know? It's fun. It's really fun. It's so good. But yeah, I think 3 has been really nice because I really like the semi-open world. I don't like full open world games often where there's just so much choice and it doesn't matter what order you do things in, right? It's all the same. I don't love that because I feel like you're a little restricted in the storytelling when you're writing a game. But this one being semi-open world means open map, quote unquote, right? Open map. But then, yeah, there's some rails. It's a bit linear in story, at least. The story is still linear, so the storytelling gets to be written like a book, which I like. That's what I want. I don't want the story to just be whatever. Like, I love Zelda. I loved Breath of the Wild, and I loved Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom especially, amazing game. But Tears of the Kingdom, case in point, 4 different areas that you do that, you know, it's open world. You can do them in any order. When you get there, they tell you, they have like the same dialogue that you have to listen to 4 times because they wanted it to be ambiguous so that it doesn't matter what order you do it in. But because they don't affect each other story-wise, the dialogue when you beat each of those areas is like the same. You basically end up watching the same cutscene multiple times. And it just made it feel lackluster when you got to those points. Everything else up until then, everything else was great. But like that main chunk, the main thing that you get to pick the order of, you know, the first time you see that cutscene, you're like, oh, wow, I wonder what the next one's going to be. You get to the second area, whichever one you pick, do the second boss, get the cutscene, and the different NPC says the same thing to you, and you're like, oh, okay. You know, it's just kind of like, yeah, the Gerudo one is a little, Gerudo, whatever you want to say, it's a little different. But it just shows that they could have differentiated more and they didn't, right? So that's something that happens in a lot of full open world games where you have these nice little pockets of story in each area, but they don't even like tie together well enough. And the linear writing of the game is just fully broken apart, right? I did like the memory stuff in that game, though. I did like that you could find the memories kind of out of order, and then you start to piece together stuff in your head, and you're like, wait, how did this happen? How did we get here? And, you know, I think that was exciting, but yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of potential for games to do kind of what Neo's doing, where you still have those open maps, you get the open world exploration, because I think the exploration part and all the encapsulated stories in each little town or city, that's really nice. But keeping the story mainline on rails still, I think, is important for these. Not every game. There's some open worlds is done really well, you know, but you still need those, I feel, those guides. But I like how they're doing it with 3. And I feel like I could go fuck off, do whatever I want all over the map, you know, and still have a good time when I get back to the story and still understand what's going on. Not feel disjointed from it because you're still in a map that's relating to the part you're up to, kind of, you know? So I like it as is. I think they're doing a good job. Yeah, the Elden Ring strat of not explaining the story at all, so it doesn't matter where you go. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I actually really love a lot of the story in FromSoft games, especially the Souls games. Dark Souls 3, love the story. But the thing is, you have to try so hard to get it. You have to try so hard because it's world building. It's not story writing, right? It's just world building. And then you can read about it if you want. And I'm the kind of person who likes to digest that stuff. So I'll read every bit of writing. I'll go explore everything and find every note, you know, whatever. And I'll do that and piece it together. But I'll be sitting there taking my own notes on the side so that I could like keep everything together, which shouldn't be necessary, right? Shouldn't be necessary unless it's a puzzle game. You know? Yeah, the lore videos are there, like, if you're not finding every little thing, you know? And a lot of people end up watching those, and cool that people do eventually get into it, but I wish the games delivered it in a way where you didn't have to watch a video, right? And you technically don't, but you have to, like, 100% every little section, you know? Do you read every book in every Elder Scrolls game? If I'm not streaming it, yes, I read all the books. I did read all of the books in Oblivion. every single one, unironically. Every single book in Oblivion I read back in the day because I played the shit out of that game. They're not really that long, the books either. They're very short. Tiny short stories for the most part. Even the longer ones are short. So it's not that crazy. It's just a lot of little books. But I don't know. I love stuff like that where bits of world building are left there for you to find, and there's environmental storytelling, which I think FromSoft does well. But the lack of anything linear makes it a little hard in Elden Ring to like piece together why this stuff is important. You know what I mean? Ooh, you like a game at dinner. Yeah, I liked a lot of the ones that were telling stories of the Daedric princes and their escapades. What was his name? The hunter one. Hold on. Is it Molag? What was his name? Oh, it is Herstein. Yeah. There was some writing relating to him that I thought was really good. I don't remember the name of the books. Molag Bal also had some really cool shit when they were like telling their stories. But I liked a lot of that stuff. I just wish it was shown in the games. I don't think they ever had, I mean, at the time when the game was released, I don't think they could have fit that content in, you know? The final fights are already crazy. But I would have liked if we got to see some of that stuff happen, you know? Because a lot of the storytelling was good. The crazy old man, what? O'Shea Gorath, yeah. I mean, he was good. He was funny. He was wacky. But I think he outshone a lot of the others because his story was something that you played through. You played through him being weird, right? But a lot of the other ones, you did their shrines, but you didn't really get that much like linear story with them. You just do a small interaction. They're like, this one's the hunter. They're about hunting. Go hunt something. Right? And they're like, oh, this one likes blood. Go kill someone and drink their blood. Okay. Right? So you didn't really interact with them themselves. But that's why I liked Molag Bal. You got a little more with him. A little more. The VA killed it too. Oh, yeah. All of the VAs, honestly, in that game. All of them. While the Elder Scrolls have incredible writing that never makes it into the worlds and stories we play, there's a lot, too. There's so much writing. So much. I hope Elder Scrolls 6 is good. I loved Oblivion so much. I think Morrowind was amazing, but it's not necessarily one that I want to always go back to because it is a slog to play through, especially if you don't mod it and you try to play it vanilla. Oh, I hate the UI. The UX of having to go into the journal and flip through to find the quest you're looking for. Little things like that are just, you know, archaic. But if you play it modded just to fix up some of the UI stuff, it's actually really good. So I'm hoping they pull the sauce, the juice out of those two games, out of Morrowind and Oblivion, and apply that to 6. I don't know though, because Skyrim was really fun. I really liked it, but it was a step down. So we'll see. Yeah, I haven't liked, that's the scary part, right? I haven't liked any of the other recent Bethesda stuff, really. So I don't know. I'm not sure. They need good writers. They need good writers. All of their early writers were so good. And then, even if the writing is good, because I thought some of the Skyrim writing was pretty good. Even if the writing is good, the game has to be good. Even though Oblivion felt jank to play, it was so fun. And this is why I recommend you all go play Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come Deliverance, first, second, play them. Genuinely so good, and they give you what you want out of Elder Scrolls that you don't get from them currently. Like, you really don't get. They just give you it. So, cannot recommend enough. It was your 2025 Game of the Year. For my Game of the Year was Blueprints. I have the issue of that game hates to run on my PC. So, I'm getting my new PC very soon. I want to replay it, but like properly. Once I have that, it should run a lot better. A lot better. But yeah, Blueprints was my 2025 for sure. I just felt like it was unmatched. Absolutely unmatched. So I hate that every time one comes out, like the next day, there's a multi-gig patch mod by modders fixing so much stuff. Dude, no games are released finished anymore. Nothing's released in a finished form, and everything doesn't perform well on most people's machines. It's just bad. How bad is it with the RAM shortage? Well, my RAM, having a dead RAM stick, meant that playing that game, it was so choppy for me, which sucked. It was just eating up all my memory. So I had to drop streaming Kingdom Come Deliverance too, because I just was like, wow, my PC can't do this, because the optimization, it just used a lot of memory. It used a ton, and so do VTuber models. And they both use a lot of CPU, especially. So I was just so bottlenecked. There was no way. But yeah. But I want to go back to it. Would NMS be No Man's Sky? Yeah, they released a few things. Are you only running one stick? No, I'm on 2.6. I had more than that before. But this is a 2021 PC, so it's not like those 2.6 are a fuck ton. Yeah, No Man's Sky we're going to do later. I'm going to do mewgenics first. But they did a free update where they released a shit ton, okay? A shit ton of stuff. That's number one. Just a shit ton of stuff in the free update. But then there's also like a proper DLC for a new ship. And I played this game. I played No Man's Sky back when people were still making fun of it. Because people didn't like it on release. And then it's one of the few games like this in Cyberpunk that have made a full turnaround, like a full turnaround, where people now are like, I fuck with this game. I really like it. People really like No Man's Sky now. Now, the last time I played it was in 2022, and I didn't play a lot of it, just a little bit. So they came through and asked if I would play the DLC. And I said, absolutely yes, because I keep hearing good things. So I'm going to have Mike play with me later, because Mike has he told me he has 700 hours in this game. So I asked him, I was like, can we play it together if I'm showing your game off? Because I want to do co-op. And they were like, oh, absolutely. So yeah, Mike fucking loves this game. Yeah, he's an absolute freak for it. And honestly, we opened it earlier just to test multiplayer before the stream, just to make sure that it was functioning, you know? And I opened the game, found that I could enter a session, all good. I'm like, all right, I'll see you later. Okay. And then there was a planet nearby, and I just landed on it, and I was walking around. As I was doing it, I could feel myself I was like, oh my God, I almost don't want to stream, and I just want to sit here and no life this. And it just from being in it for a little bit. So I was like, no, I gotta hold back. Maybe we'll end up streaming more of it. I don't know. But I was like, oh, I'm really fucking with this game. And I barely played any of it. Yeah, the Siren song, it was getting me. It was really getting me. I really like space-based stuff, but there aren't a lot of good games that are about space exploration. You really can only play Outer Wilds once, right? So that's out of the way. I played Elite Dangerous. And I played EVE Online. Both of those games I put disgusting numbers of hours into, because that's my shit. Since those two, I haven't really found many games set in space that I've wanted to play. Yeah, I didn't like Starfield. Star Citizen is not even a real thing in my mind. I don't even think it's real. I hope it is, but I don't think it's real. So No Man's Sky might be my only hope here. And thankfully people are saying it's really good. So yeah. Elite Dangerous was the one game that got your dad out of gaming retirement. I wanted to get my dad to play. My dad is, he has nothing to do with his time. And he was a PC gamer. He's the one who got me into PC gaming, because he was into it a very long time ago, like Windows 95 and prior kind of thing. And so I played a lot of early PC games because of him, but he stopped gaming in the early 90s, I think, late 90s. I don't know. By 2000, he was not gaming anymore, right? So I really wanted to get him something, right? He wasn't that much of a Diablo guy. He played a bit of it, but he liked other stuff. He liked CRPGs and things. But I want to get him like a proper PC, and I don't know. He has a phone. He has, unfortunately, a MacBook. He has a MacBook laptop because someone, you know, also his age convinced him that Apple's so good and he should get one. So he got a long time ago, and he's like, it works. And I was like, yeah, but you can never play video games ever. Well, you can play some. So I'm going to try and get him on a proper desktop PC, get him a Steam account, buy a couple games for him, and just throw it at him and just see what happens, you know? My mom's a Nintendoid, so I got her a Switch years ago when the new Animal Crossing released, and she played the fuck out of that. And I just got her Balatro for Christmas because she loves anything that looks like it has cards in it, like a standard deck of cards. She will play because she loves basic stuff like solitaire and poker and whatever, right? So I was like, look, it's a game with cards in it. You'd love it. And she was like, oh, a card game. Cute. She doesn't know yet. She doesn't know. But I just said, yeah, here. So she's gonna open it and become a sicko for that game, which I think will be great. But yeah, I gotta get stuff for my dad now to play. He liked old shooters. He was a little bit of a Quakey. He was a Quakey. I played a lot of Quake. Yeah, I think No Man's Sky would do it. I think No Man's Sky would do it for him. So. Oh, he said Pete also likes Balatro. Must be an old person thing. Wow. Hey, I'm, a YouTube video, a thumbnail called me 22 years old one time, so I've just been running with it. 6'7". I love Fortnite. 6'7". Yeah. According to that thumbnail, I'm probably like 23 now or something. All right, guys. I don't know what an IRA is, man. I don't know. What's an IRA? That one thumbnail. Well, genuinely, like YouTube comments every now and then. I'll have my own video, my own clip where I talk about something from. I'll be like, oh yeah, I loved this game. Did you guys ever play Baldur's Gate 2? And then someone will look up how long ago it came out, and they're like, oh, she must have played it later. She's like 23. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I must have played it later. Yeah. So true. So true. I don't know. The YouTube comments are really attached to that one, so I'm just gonna let him. I'm gonna let him think that. I'm gonna let him think that one. Right. Who's Roth? Why do I care about his IRA so much? Ah, dude. There's also the side of me. There's like the devil on my shoulder that's like, make a video talking about IRAs. Like it's just, I always have that in the back of my mind where I'd love to do that kind of stuff. But it fits nowhere with anything else I do. So I'm not going to do it. I can't. Though I will say, oh my God, can I tell you guys something crazy? Okay. Gaming. You make content about gaming. You get sponsored by games, right? If you're a content creator, you get sponsored by whatever types of companies, think they can get to your demographic through you or something like that. So obviously, if you're a gaming creator, you're a streamer and a YouTuber, gaming companies will be like, play my game. Your gamer audience would love to see it. And you go, okay, right? The finance viewers, I've got a friend who's a YouTuber and makes these weekly videos talking about finance, what credit cards you should open, all these different things. And they do pretty well. They do all right. They only get which I still think this is really good, but they get like 30 to 50K views on a video typically. And then some certain topics they'll have a video here or there that pops off because it's like something people need a tutorial for, right? But most of their videos are around there. When they get a sponsor from a financial institution for like a credit card or anything like that, those sponsors pay easily 10 times or more what the gaming sponsors pay for the same amount of seconds of talking about the thing. It's disgusting. It's actually disgusting. And I look at it and I'm like, why do I play video games on stream? I should just talk about credit cards on YouTube. Like, what? It's crazy. It's at minimum 10 times more what the other sponsors pay. Gaming is easily, in content creation, the least money-making thing for the creators. It really is. It's insane. But you just do what you like. For me, I'm just in this because I like it. right? If I wanted easy money, I would just quit and go back to working in tech and I'd be fine, right? But I look at that and I'm like, God, that's so stupid. It's crazy how much it is. Yeah, become a Gamba streamer. That's like the one thing that does pay out super high in proportion to the finance stuff, but that's because they have so much money. They have buku bucks, you know? Crazy amounts. No credit card ad incoming, because I'd have to be like a finance YouTuber for them to even want to offer that to me. Talk about our credit card and we'll give you the, you know, $1 billion. I'd have to just have a finance channel, which I'd... No thanks.
Yo, shout out to all the black YouTubers I know this month. Nostro, me, Onsta, Shizzy, Benji, Geega.
Where is Heavenly, dude? I haven't seen him in 100 years. I gotta find him. He went out for milk, man. He went out for milk and cigs. Are we gonna get the taxes stream? No. No. Nuh-uh. Nope. Nope. I have a bad enough time doing my own taxes. You think I want to tutorial a bunch of bozos on that? No, thank you. No, thank you. I would rather die. Mine are so hellish to do because I'm legally, technically self-employed. All content creators are self-employed, where you're like a sole proprietorship, right? So now you gotta do taxes like you're a business, and now you gotta do everything this whole way. You gotta fill extra forms out, do a whole song and dance, and at the end of the day in the US, you gotta pay an extra 12.5% because you're not, you know, a person working for a business. You are the business, so you gotta pay that. And easily a third of your income, if not more, just goes away. It just goes away. So I don't want to make a video for you guys on your taxes because I'm going to look over all the easy stuff that I used to do for being W-2 and get pissed. You know what I mean? I'll be like fake filling it out for a video and then be like, fuck, you know, because I see how little they pay in comparison. I can't do it. I'll get so angry. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, self-employment tax is really rough. It is. It is. We basically just pay a second time. We just go, oh, here's my tax money. Here's it again, just cause I don't have a boss, you know? It's nutty. Move to the EU where you get your tax return automatically? No. No. I don't want to. I don't want to live in Europe. I've been to Europe. I don't hate Europe. I don't want to live in Europe. I don't know anyone over there. Actually, I do. But everyone I know is here. And it just plain and simple makes it impossible. Because I've genuinely thought about that. Actually, a long time ago, I thought about expatriating. I really did think about it a few times. But my conclusion was always like, I have a huge family and a lot of people that are very tight-knit. And I'm like, it just makes me not want to move out, you know? Because it's one thing if you move to a different part of the US and it's a little less travel time. But going to Europe, how long is that flight? Right? Going to Asia, I've lived there before. Dude, no. That flight is insane. And it's such an ordeal to travel. It's just insane. And I like being able to just be like, I'm just going to hop on a train and, you know, see some people and then go back, right? And seeing them frequently. I don't want to have to do a twice-a-year trip. I want to see them minimum monthly, my family, you know? So that's the part that makes it, like, kind of impossible for me. Kind of impossible. You know? Especially from the East Coast. Yeah, if I were to go to Asia. Yeah, because I did think about moving back over there. And some other areas, too. I was looking at it because just money-wise, it makes so much sense. And then just thinking about how it would work functionally, I decided not to. It felt not worth it to me. Europe wouldn't be as bad because I'm already East Coast. and I'm in the Northeast, so it's the shortest possible distance if I'm going to another, you know, another slice of the world. But still, even then, it's pretty big. Yeah, I haven't actually been to Europe in a long time. I kind of wanted to go back just because I haven't been in a long while. And I need to visit family. Because I do have family in Europe, I do. Yeah, it's gonna be all these, like, 8-hour flights and stuff. 7-8 hour flights. It's longer than it is to go to the other side of the US, which is already, like... I kind of hate flying to LA. I fucking hate LA in general, but I kind of hate flying there. So if I went across the Atlantic, it's like, ugh, man. If you like winter season, come to Finland. It's still covered in snow outside here, all right? Everyone hates flying LA. Yeah, for good reason. LAX is dog shit, man. It is dog shit. But hey, a lot of our airports are, honestly. I don't know. LA, I don't get why anyone would actually like living there. There are certain parts of certain neighborhoods that are really nice, but living like in the city proper, in the city, no appeal to me. I just think the city itself sucks. Plenty of nice areas nearby, but if you're like, I want to live in LA so I can do stuff in LA all the time, and you mean like LA? No. You hate Dallas the most? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dallas airport sucks. A lot of the nice ones are places that are just not fully populated yet. They kind of are, but kind of aren't. So there's like the Raleigh airport. Kind of nice. Kind of nice. Kind of like small, but not cramped because there aren't that many people using it. That one's pretty good. A lot of the ones down the East Coast, up and down the East Coast, are pretty nice. Oh, yeah, the Minneapolis airport. I've only been once, but I liked it. Vegas airport, I don't like. I like certain things in it. You know, a little statue with a lizard, whatever the fuck, the iconic things, but the layout of it sucks ass. And it's like very weird to navigate through. So I don't like that one. I felt like with RDU, yeah, I could just walk in and out and like everything was just right fucking there. I like all the airports right around New York, actually. BWI isn't bad. I've been to BWI once. I don't really remember it too well. It was a long time ago. I like some of the ones out in like the mountainous areas, like Denver. Actually, some of the small ones. What is the one? There's an airport in Montana that I've been to. Hold on. Montana Airport. What's the big one? I was at an airport in Montana. Bozeman, BZN, Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport. Yeah. I kind of liked that airport. It had that very like small feeling, but it looked like I don't know, it just looked like Montana. like not outside, but the airport itself, I looked at it and I'm like, this is a Montana building, right? It was just something about like the brownness of it. I don't know. It just looked right. It looked right. That one was nice. So to constantly get routed through Newark. Oh, I get that all the time. Yeah, if my flights get changed, they'll put me there. I actually like that airport. I just don't choose to go through it because it's, you know, it's a little far, but it's at least still connected to all the trains. So like if you have to, you can go from there into Manhattan and then get wherever you need. But I actually do like that airport. I think their food's better, and I think the layout of it is pretty nice. All the terminals, they have the air train between them. LaGuardia's miserable. I don't mind LaGuardia. I'm a big JFK Airport stan. Big JFK Airport stan. But yeah. O'Hare. Oh, fuck that airport, dude. I hate landing there, yeah. Really? Yeah. Well, yeah, LaGuardia is nicer now. I think years ago that was the shitty one, and for good reason. And if you were like a rich person taking a private jet, you would want to take it out of LaGuardia. That's what people would do. But if you were a regular flyer, the service was terrible. Nowadays, I feel like it's kind of evened out a bit. You know? Anchorage, yeah. How much is flying from state to state cost? Completely depends on where you're going. I'll check right now. Watch. New York City flight, NYC to, I don't know. Let's do Atlanta. NYC to Atlanta. If I left like today and I wanted to return sometime later and I wasn't flying like Frontier or Spirit Airlines, like one of the shitty ones, you probably spend like $150 to $250, $200-ish, something like that. If you're just like, let me go right now. I'm gonna Boston from LA, to Boston from LA for like $189 JetBlue. Yeah, I mean, the first price you're shown is usually not what you actually end up spending, but yeah, a couple hundred, and you can fly from one spot in the U.S. to the rest, to anywhere else, really. Not counting, like, you know, Alaska, Hawaii, because those are farther. And then a little more depending on date and stuff. But if you plan ahead of time and you're not going at, like, a peak time, like a holiday or something, it's really not too bad. It's East Coast, you just drive. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. The East Coast, driving up and down the East Coast is super easy. Insanely easy. You just get on 95 and go forever. And eventually, you know, let's say you're like down in South Carolina, you start driving north, go on 95. You're going to hit every major city along the East Coast that you're likely to want to go to. You're going to hit Raleigh, then you're going to hit, like, I don't know, Fredericksburg up there. And then you're going to hit, you know, DC, Nova, all that. Then you're going to go up and you're going to hit Philly. Then you're going to hit New York City, and you can keep going, and you can go along the coast a little to the east, and you can start hitting northeast. You get to Boston. Like, it's just all along the same road. And you can drive from New York City all the way down to Florida because you want to go to Disney. You can go all the way and just make it without changing roads very much. Sometimes 95 will get named a different thing because you're on, like, you know, now we're on 395, now we're on 295, now we're on 495, you know, whatever. But generally it just stays as that. And you just go. You just go. It's pretty long, some of these drives, but it's easy, man. So I like the driving on the East Coast in general if you have to go a distance, because it's very easy. A lot of the time I've done those drives without even turning on, like, the GPS for for the vast majority of it, if not at all, honestly. Yeah, you can also Amtrak it. You can. From Baltimore and Richmond. No one wants to go to Baltimore and Richmond, if I'm being honest. No, I've actually been to Baltimore a lot. I've spent a lot of time in Baltimore. I don't love it. But there are parts of the city I'm super familiar with, and there are sections I actually really do like. But yeah. There's some nice areas. There's some weirdly bougie areas, and it's kind of funny because you can tell, like, where the bougie spots are because everything's newly built right near the water. And then you walk a few blocks north and you get to, like, the normal neighborhoods, and you see the difference. There's literally a seam in the middle of the ground, and one spot across the street where all the rich people live and beyond has no potholes. And then across the street, when you get to the normal neighborhood where middle class and below all live, suddenly there are potholes everywhere. And I'm like, it's really funny. I used to have to go to some of those areas for work stuff, so I've driven down there quite a few times. And yeah, it was really funny when we'd go to eat somewhere and we'd, like, drive, and I'd tell when we were in the nice spot and then suddenly when we were in the normal spot because you could tell by the seam in the road. It was so stupid. I was like, why is it literally like a line drawn? Crazy. A lot of the food's good though. Now the food's real nice. Real nice. You said you did Florida to Virginia in October? Yeah, the traffic down in Florida is always really awful. I don't like driving down there. I have before, but if I can avoid it, I will. Driving to it and from it overall, like the distance, it's not a bad drive. It's just being there. Florida and DC traffic are the worst. Yes. Oh my God, DC traffic. Anytime, I mean, if you're going down 95 and you're trying to go past DC, right? You're trying to go down to the Carolinas or to Georgia, or anything, Virginia, you have to go through DC. Oh my God, it's the worst. I hate the drivers over there. I'm always like praying that I just get through Maryland as fast as possible. And I'm like, holy fuck, just get me out of here. And then once you hit Virginia, then it's like kind of smooth sailing. Then you just keep going south and you're all right. It's not bad. But that stretch is just so bad. So bad. From PA, it's a bit too far to drive to Florida. Yeah. I mean, even I've driven from New York City all the way to Ohio. And on a map, it doesn't look that crazy, but it's like 8 to 10 hours of a drive. It's pretty long if you're going from the city. And that is kind of rough. Kind of rough. How good of a driver are you? Sound like you'd be comfortable driving most places. Oh, I'm very comfortable driving. I love driving, actually. I think I'm a good driver. I've been everywhere. I've driven many hundreds of thousands of miles, which is crazy as a person from the city, but it's, a lot of work stuff. I had to do long drives and leave the city and go to other cities. And I would just drive them half the time instead of taking flights, because I would be able to take calls and things while I was driving and still get some work done. So I would just drive it most of the time, or train sometimes. And as long as it was on the East Coast and it wasn't like Atlanta or beyond, I would usually drive it. So I've driven to as long as it was, I think, down to South Carolina, I was cool driving to. And then when it got farther, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this drive anymore. I'll fly. But yeah, I would do it a lot. But I like driving a lot. I do. I enjoy it. And I was forged in the fires of, parallel parking in the city. It was really funny because when they make you parallel park for driving exams, they give you like an entire 2 to 3 car lengths. They have cones set up and they're like, parallel park here. And there's this huge area. And I'm like, brother, I was forged in parallel parking spots that are like the length of your car plus 1 inch on either side, And I always felt like they should take the exam and they should just move those cones a little closer, be a little realistic, move a little closer, but they never do. They never do. But yeah, I had to learn to drive in the worst of places, So it's just something people don't realize too until they drive in New York City for the first time is the roads here are slimmer. The width of the lanes, way slimmer. Anytime I drive anywhere else in the country, I'm like, wow, these lanes are huge. You could fit like 2 cars in this lane. Because they are what they are. In New York City, the lanes are the width of your car plus like a few inches, a few inches on either side. You do not have much room between you and the other cars next to you. So you get used to that, And I find that that's totally fine. If you just follow the lines and you're going forward, you're fine. It's not that crazy. But anytime I'd have a friend who would be driving in from somewhere else, they would freak the fuck out. And they'd be like, what's with these roads? And they'd be clutching the wheel and they'd be like zoomed in, leaning forward to look because they're trying to be so aware of the lines. And I'm thinking to myself, how are you just not hyper aware of the lines at all times? But it's because they don't have to be, So I'll usually be like, just let me drive. Just swap, please. Pull over, please. I get so frustrated watching other people drive who are not used to the city. And they're like freaking out about the lanes and they're complaining about everything. They're like, I don't even know where to go. There's like 3 ways to go. And I'm like, yeah, because there's a lot of roads, idiot, I just take the wheel. I just tell people to swap with me because I can't. I get so mad. I get so mad at them. Lots of people center themselves in lanes and not the car. Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things where, again, you don't have to when you have really wide lanes, you know? You don't have to. Your dad tortures you whenever you visit and forces you to drive. Good, you should drive. You should. Oh, God. For your license exam, the parallel park, they had... the house you're parking in front of had a kid's birthday party, and they were looking at you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's good. That's good. Oh, man. I don't know. I just think if you drive a bunch in a very crowded city like New York, you get used to being aware of everything around you, and it makes it so that you're way less likely to get in accidents when you go to other places because you're just aware. I felt like when I would drive in other places, like someone was saying the Maryland traffic was the worst. I agree, because I feel like a lot of the people down there are not aware of what's around them at all. Whenever they do something weird, they do something bad, it's like they're looking straight down at their own feet while they're driving, and they're not even looking at the road. You know what I mean? Like that's the impression I get based off of the choices that they're making in the scenarios they're in. And I don't know. I don't know. This is on average. There are plenty of people that can be in these places and drive just fine, and plenty of people in New York that can drive like shit. But overall, the average, like, you just have to be better when you're in a city, because smaller mistakes, they're actual consequences, you know? So, I don't know. I feel like everyone should have to go through the gauntlet. I just want everything to be fully self-driving, and for people to not be doing shit because they keep fucking it up. But also I like driving, so I want to keep driving. I don't know. When going through New York City, you felt weirdly comfortable on a motorcycle versus driving in a car? There's a lot more. Yeah, there are a lot of motorcycles and e-bikes and things too. Little like mopeds as well in New York City. I really hate though that a lot of those people just ride up the lines. So you'll have like 3 lanes of traffic with cars going slowly, and then someone who will just have a motorcycle will go in between the cars in the middle line and just go. And I'm like, brother, don't. Yeah, fully lane splitting the whole way down. And it just, I hate it. Like just treat yourself as a car. I get that maybe if you're trying to make a certain transition more easily, you can do it, but don't just ride like that the whole time. It's the worst. It's the worst. It's legal there, unfortunately. No, it depends on where you are. People think it's legal like everywhere in the city, but it's not. It's actually not. But they're also, you know, New York has kind of brutal rules with it in general. You're allowed to do some more things, but if you get hit and you were doing that thing, you're at fault automatically. For example, you're allowed to jaywalk. You are allowed to jaywalk. You don't have to wait for a red light and a walk signal to go. But if you are jaywalking and you get hit because you're walking through active traffic, you're at fault. You know what I mean? So I'm cool with it. I'm chill with it. You know, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Also, B, that's not necessarily what I'm saying. I mean, just in general, not specific people. But yeah. Is there no speed max on lane splitting? There's supposed to be, but you know people don't follow it. They don't. They do not. Never ever. Thought New York was a no-fault state. It depends. No, it depends on where you are. The city has its own laws that are separate from the state. So you might not be able to be sued through the state courts, but you can still be sued through the city courts for certain things that happen like that. And then there are specific boroughs as well that have their own fines and things. So maybe you don't go to court for something, but you still get fined for it. You're still the one who gets, you know, a thing. Your Long Island, so was. Yeah, no. Their laws are different. They just follow like the state stuff. But once you pass into city lines, it changes. It does change. But yeah, it's interesting. That's why like if you're in the city limits, there's the no turn on red everywhere, because that's just a city law. So even though you don't have to do that in New York State, the moment you cross the border into, if let's say, like if you're on Long Island, if you go into Brooklyn or into Queens, the moment you cross that line and you're in the city, now it's no turn on red anywhere, right? So same thing with a lot of other traffic laws. They don't always teach you that if you're from the state and not the city. So there are actually a lot of drivers that drive in from like New Jersey, Long Island, farther north, you know, like upstate and stuff. There are a lot of people that drive into city lines and mess up stuff because they just don't know that it's a city law. And they should, because they work there half the time, but you know, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, people get very confused. Very, very, very confused. And it sucks because so many people live outside of the city limits, but then come in every day there to work there. But they mess everything up. So I don't know. I never know what to do. I'm just like, if they get in trouble, they get in trouble. That is what it is. There's no turn on red sign at the entrances. Yeah, they give you some signage, but they definitely do not do it everywhere. They definitely do not. I don't know. I think I'm kind of not a fan of the right turn on red thing. I wish you could everywhere, but in the really, really, really densely populated areas, I get it. I get it. So I understand why the city just made that a blanket thing. Yeah, you said you've become a right turn on red hater. People don't fucking stop or look for pedestrians. Yep. Yeah. So like in Manhattan, in the more dense parts of Brooklyn and Queens that are close to the water, absolutely that should be the rule. But then some areas are within city limits, but they're further from the cities. You get to like the eastern parts of Brooklyn and Queens where it's just like it's just dense suburban at that point. It looks like a city when you walk around it, but it's density-wise not that crazy. And I feel like over there, they don't need it. They don't need it, you know? But, you know, a lot of Seattle, they're putting up no red on red signs. Yeah, I mean, I'm a proponent of people walking more, having better public transportation, etc. But a lot of people don't like walking because they're uncomfortable because people are turning on red lights all the time, nearly hitting people all the time. So, you know, culturally, it makes them nervous because they're like, I don't think people are used to this. So it might help with a transition to more areas becoming walkable, maybe. Or so is the hope. Will it actually work that way? You know, time will tell, but I think that's some of their intent by that is to make it, you know, easier for people to bike or walk and feel like they're a little safer because the rights on red aren't allowed. You know? So correct me if I'm wrong, but is LA public transport really that non-existent? Oh, yeah. Well, so LA public transport, they don't really have many trains. They have this one line that goes out to like Santa Monica. And it runs okay. It's not that great. It's all right. It functions, but it's just one line and it really doesn't connect to many important parts of the city, just some. And then they have bus service. They have a good amount of bus service. Not enough, but a good amount of bus service. And the buses in LA are notorious for being a prime spot to get stabbed. You know, like it's just like used by a lot of the homeless that are there, which me personally, if someone is just homeless, I don't care if they're on my bus. But when they're lighting up the crack pipe and talking to the demons that they see in front of them that no one else can see, people don't necessarily want to take the bus with them, you know? So the bus service is known as that by a lot of the people. And that's why people don't really, you know, they don't really take the buses. Now, in New York, love the buses. The bus systems here are very, very good. They are typically very on time, actually, even with all the traffic. They do really well because they know how much traffic to expect. And I find that you can get literally anywhere. The train systems are already really good. You can get anywhere via train. But if you don't want to walk that extra bit, all right, take a bus. The buses will stop fucking everywhere. Like every couple of corners, there is a bus stop throughout the entire city. So it's really, really, really nice. It's very full service. They're running all the time. I think they're relatively safe. I think they are relatively safe. I've almost never had issues on New York City bus. And if there has been an issue, it's you know, some stupid bullshit that is pretty avoidable. It doesn't have to affect you. You just witness something and you're like, oh, that's crazy. Anyway, you know what I mean? So I've been a very big fan of bus service being like the thing, because I don't think every city can just roll out train lines, right? If it's not already built by the time you're building up all the houses there, what are you gonna do? Dig up everyone's houses to build a subway? Like, it's not possible once the city that you're in is already built, right? But buses can be added. You just put them on the road, right? So I hope more cities expand buses. I just think the problem is, again, in New York City, the buses were relatively safe, so people here like them. But in a lot of other areas, when they introduce buses, they become known in that area as unsafe. And now you have no hope of them ever getting safer because no one will take them, you know? So I keep hoping that other cities will be able to do something to make that really work out, because bus service really can fix a lot. It can fix a lot. You bring up that there are other trains in LA. Yeah, but no one uses them. Actually, look at the LA train map. What does their metro map look like? Yeah. I've taken the trains over there before. I felt like they were pretty shit. But they could get better. I don't know. The airport one is the biggest. Yeah, I think that's more than anything, that's the most important thing, is just making sure that you have a train from the airport to all your major areas. Oh yeah, they do kind of service like a lot of the neighborhoods out there. I think what sucks is that it's very I feel like you have to take a train to a bus to get like anywhere residential, to get home, because there just aren't enough stops and enough lines. But that's okay. If they just made the bus service better, I don't think that's a problem. But of course, like I said, the LA buses are known as like, you go there to die. That's the impression that people that live there have always given me. They're like, oh, I don't take the buses because something, the crackheads. And I'm like, well, you know, have faith, because they are good in some other areas. They really are. I don't know. There's a lot of people I've talked to who say public transit is best and no one should drive. Also complain about people playing music out loud on the bus as if music is a sin. Well, yeah, you should be fucking quiet on public transport. You should. I think it's okay to talk. I know when you take trains in like Japan, they're like, oh, you don't even talk. Don't let your phone make noise. They try to keep it very quiet if they can. I think you don't need to be that demure. But I think you should be chilling and at most be having a normal conversation. That's it. And you should get some damn headphones. Yes, you should. You should. I mean, we have an interesting time. I think in New York City, a lot of people do play music. You do. That's the one thing that I don't like. You do often get like, you know, dude playing his favorite beat who like walks onto the bus holding his phone in his hand and he's just playing some fucking music. And the thing that bothers me the most is usually when they do that, they walk on the bus and they look around and they're doing the glance. That is the checking to make sure you're hearing my music glance, right? Like I pull out my phone, I start playing a song, and I'm like, just making sure you know I like Denzel Curry. As I sit there and like lean against the window, all cool. Like that's the shit that they do, right? And that's what pisses me off. If they had their music on loud and they just clearly were playing it for themselves and didn't seem to even notice anyone else, I wouldn't even be mad at them. I'd be like, oh, they just don't get it. But the problem is 9 times out of 10. They're playing their music and they're like leaning and looking out the window pensively, right? With like a finger to their lip and then occasionally looking back to see who's looking at them, to see who's noticing them, because they have to take stock of that. And I'm like, oh my God. That's the part that I can't stand. If you do that, fuck you, you know? Fuck off, man. So annoying. Just want you to know I listen to JID. I like good rappers. Like, brother, stop playing your shit so loud. I like him too. Stop playing it so loud. I don't know. But I'm usually not bothered by it because I have my own headphones in and I can't hear what the fuck everyone else is doing because I got my own shit going on. So, you know. It is what it is. It makes you think of the bit Squeaks would do, following up with problem. Yeah, exactly. He'd lean against the wall, all cool, playing his music, see who's noticing him, and go, what? Actually, people do that, though. Unironically, they're looking to see who's taking note of them and who's noticing their music because they want to be seen. But then if you indicate to them that you see them, you make eye contact or whatever, they'll be like, fuck you want? And it's like, what? You want people to notice you. I know you do. Because you're acting the way you're acting. You're shifting around. You're looking. You seem to feel better each time someone is, in fact, noticing your music. Yet you then aggro on the first person that indicates clearly to you that they are noticing your music. It's just... Yeah, and NY seats and that on the bus. Notice my music. Don't talk to me about it, though. But do, though. But don't. I don't know. I do genuinely think that there is something up with a lot of them. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, that's why you should put on the Geega stream on the bus. You should. Everyone shut up. She's talking. She's talking. Everyone on the bus, silence. I don't know. I've never understood it, though. I've never once in my life pulled out a device and started playing music loudly to a room of people that didn't ask me to do that. Never in my life have I ever felt like that made sense to do. Not a single time. So I have absolutely zero understanding. Zero. Of when someone walks onto the train or the bus and their phone is just blasting music. I have never understood it. I don't know what it is. What are they doing? Why are they used to this? Who does this? What made them think that this was normal? I don't know. I don't know. Someone's doing that in front of you right now? Put me on speaker. Turn your shit off. Turn it off right now, bitch. Put me on speaker right now. Turn that off. I don't know why people do that shit, man. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I want to play mewgenics. It's time. It's time. We're gonna
shout out to
open
all the
it.
black VTubers I know this
You're the
month.
second one to play it.
Nostro, me,
Where's
Onsta,
this game?
Shizzy, Kenji, Geega.
There it is. Okay, I'm opening mewgenics. I opened this yesterday and played through the tutorial. So you're not gonna see me play through the tutorial if you even cared. I don't know. Turn off my BGM. I don't know if you cared about that, but I did the tutorial so I could just get straight into it when I open it today. And we're just gonna do the damn thing.